Come, Arpit. Have a seat. You can unbutton your coat and sit. और 2 बटन तो कभी बंद नहीं करना चाहिए. Only एक ऊपर वाला है. Rest is only for show. Okay? And open sit. Okay, good. Arpit,
Thank you, sir.
You are a mechanical engineer from IIT Roorkee.
Yes, sir.
It's a great college. है. ये IIT कब बना था?
Sir, ये 2001 it became IIT.
Okay. Good. You have been working after that?
Yes, sir. I worked for 3 months as a financial market analyst in Futures First.
In Futures?
In Futures First. It's a firm working in financial markets field.
Okay.
So I worked there as a financial market analyst.
Very good. In mechanical engineering, tell me what is the basic difference between a petrol engine and a diesel engine?
So a petrol engine is basically a spark ignition engine,
Yes.
where a spark is given so that the engine, the fuel can ignite in the engine. Whereas in diesel engine, it's a compression ignition engine, where we compress the fuel so that it can get compressed so much that it ignites. Because the ignition temperature of spark engine is less and the compression engine is high. So this is the basic difference.
Can you tell me the difference in the compression ratios between the two?
So compression ratio of SI engine is probably 5 to 6 and CI engine is around 10 to 12,
Okay.
if I guess it right.
So what is the role of a gearbox in a vehicle?
So gearbox is mainly used to transfer the rotational part of momentum.
What is that known as? In technical language, what is that known as rotational part of movement?
Sir, it's called angular momentum.
Okay. And you transfer it to?
Yes, sir. We transfer it to wheels through the engine.
Okay.
We supply the power from engine with the use of gears and shafts to the wheel.
Okay. Do you drive a vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Which one?
So scooty or bike?
Huh?
Scooty or bike?
Scooty or bike. What is the cc capacity of that?
So scooty cc capacity is 80 cc.
Okay.
And of bike is 150 cc.
What does the cc refer to?
So it's the volume, basically volume of fuel at one time in the engine which is going to be ignited.
Okay. And how many stroke engine?
Sir?
How many strokes are there in your?
So it's a 2-stroke engine.
Is a 2-stroke engine? Okay. Oh. Tell me, how many valves are there in a cylinder?
So it depends. It can be a 2-valve, 3-valve, or 4-valve system. I have seen all of them. I'm
Okay.
not aware of which
Your
one is
machine is having how many valves?
So I think
Okay.
I'm not aware of it.
Okay, tell me, as a mechanical engineer, what is this concept of metal fatigue?
So metal fatigue is mainly said when a repeated amount of stress is applied to the metal.
Stress and strain, both.
Sir, stress translates into strain due to the principle of Hooke's principle of elasticity.
Okay.
The stress translates into strain, and those repeated strains, due to those repeated stresses applied, the metal starts wearing down. That is called
Okay.
metal fatigue.
What is Young's modulus?
So Young's modulus is basically the proportion of stress and strain.
Okay, very good. Tell me, have you heard of the interlinking of rivers project in India?
Yes, sir.
What is this project?
So we are interlinking some of the rivers. For example, Ken and Betwa link project of MP and UP. We want to achieve balanced distribution of water for irrigation purposes and drinking water purposes.
Balance between which two sides?
So plain areas and plateau areas,
Okay.
and also some water deficit and water rich areas.
Okay.
We want to create a balance so that we have irrigated land in water deficit areas also, and we can counter the drinking water
Very good.
issues.
You think that's a good idea?
So I think that's a good idea, but some of the projects are not environmentally viable. They are disturbing environments also. So I think environmental impact assessment should take place, and then only these projects should go on.
Okay, very good. Now, as a mechanical engineer, tell me, India is under a lot of pressure to wind up its carbon
Yes, sir.
plants.
Yes, sir.
But as a power secretary, if you are made power secretary of Government of India,
Yes, sir.
you have to produce power. There is no alternative to it. So, kya karo? What will you do?
So I'll prioritize the renewable energy part of the system, so that as we have to meet our target also of 50% of renewable energy by 2030 should be there. So I'll prioritize solar and wind energy systems. I'll also try to prioritize some new form of energies to explore, for example, ocean thermal energy systems and geothermal energy systems.
Very
And
good.
since government is focusing on hydrogen as a fuel, so we can try that also.
Okay.
Ethanol and
What
biodiesel.
what initiatives have government taken on the hydrogen front?
So on hydrogen front, there is a national hydrogen energy mission
Very good.
going on currently, and one of the initiative has been a hydrogen fueling station at Ladakh as a pilot project. They want to see how hydrogen works in in that area in Ladakh, so that we can bring it at a mass scale. Since
What is the, as an engineer, what is the problem in hydrogen? If it is so good,
yes sir,
you burn hydrogen, you get water,
yes sir,
nothing else.
right.
If it is so good, why we have not been able to do it so far?
So first of all, hydrogen is not that readily available. So we need to find methods to extract hydrogen.
What is the best way to do it?
So the best way is to get it through it's called green hydrogen. So
Okay, what
that
is green hydrogen?
So that is with the use of renewable energy, we
Okay.
extract hydrogen from chemical compounds like we can say water also. So we actually use hydrolysis. So that hydrolysis is done using renewable energy sources.
Very good. What is brown hydrogen?
So brown hydrogen, I'm not.
Okay. Have you heard of fuel cell buses? Fuel cell. What is a fuel cell vehicle?
So a fuel cell operates on the principle of basically fuel cell, which translates the energy given to it into the power.
How does it do it?
So the working of fuel cell. So working of fuel cell is basically translating the chemical energy part into the electrical energy.
How is it done? You have any idea?
I have idea through electrodes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit, you opted for mathematics
Yes, sir.
for your civil services mains.
Yes, sir.
What is topology?
So topology is a branch of mathematics where we try to find out the aspects of the surfaces. We try to study surfaces in topology, and we try to study its mathematical arenas.
You study surfaces.
So mathematical surfaces. We can, for example, if we see some of the physical surfaces. So in topology, we try to study mathematical aspects of that.
Did you come across during the study of mathematics for civil services?
No, sir, I did not come across topology. I just heard about it.
And what is mathematical modeling? And what are its applications?
So mathematical modeling is about use of mathematics to create models for optimization of our resources. For example, if we use mathematical modeling in traffic management, we try to see which model will work for a city. So we use some of the data of the city, we use some of the data analysis, and we produce a mathematical model which optimizes our traffic management. So in that way, a mathematical model is created. We use some of the softwares. For example, MATLAB is used, and some of the other softwares also there.
You follow cricket, no? What is Chinaman in cricket?
So a Chinaman bowler is a left-hand bowler who does leg spin in his way. So he's called Chinaman.
And who devised it?
Sir, I don't remember the person. In India, actually, Kuldeep Yadav is one of the Chinaman bowlers.
I'm talking about the origin of Chinaman, who was a great all-rounder. I will give you a couple of hints. West Indies, the greatest all-rounder I think this world has ever produced, cricket has ever produced.
So I think it's Garden Greenwich or
Sir Garfield Sobers.
Acha, Garyfield Sobers. Yes, sorry.
UP, you belong to Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about industrial corridors?
Yes, sir. They are.
So what is the industrial corridor that passes through UP? First tell me what is the industrial corridor, who is implementing it, a little detail about it, and then which is the industrial corridor that is passing through Uttar Pradesh?
So industrial corridor is basically an arena which connects two of the industrial centers, and in that arena we find some of the MSMEs, we find some of the big industries also that work as ancillary industries to other industries. So it creates a hierarchy of industries on the way and creates a conglomerate kind of
What are the
system.
industrial corridors under implementation, and who is implementing it?
Sir,
Who means which ministry is implementing it?
So as far as I know, Ministry of Commerce is implementing it.
Hmm.
So, sir, Ministry of Commerce is implementing it, and along UP, one of the industrial corridors is the Haryana Dadri corridor, which passes through UP, and some of the industrial corridors are now.
Haryana Dadri.
Sir, I don't exactly know its name. One of the corridors is in NCR.
Haryana Dadri. Why will it traverse UP? You're talking about Haryana North State, and then Dadri again is around Delhi.
Yes, sir. One of the corridors is NCR. I don't remember its name.
Two major industrial corridors.
So one major industrial corridor is along Purvanchal Expressway.
No. Have you heard of freight corridors?
Yes, I've heard of freight.
What is
corridors.
freight corridor?
So freight corridors are being made to.
Just name the major freight corridors which are under implementation.
East-west freight corridor is there. Then one of the freight corridors runs from Delhi to Mumbai, and there are some other corridors on the way. For example, Delhi Mumbai to Visakhapatnam, which creates.
Can you name U.S. Defense Secretary and Foreign Secretary, the U.S. Foreign Secretary, and why have they been in news recently?
So
I think every day newspaper is throwing up their names.
So I can recall the name of U.S. Foreign Secretary. It's Antony Blinken.
And Defense Secretary.
So Defense Secretary, I cannot recall. Right
and why have they been in news?
So yesterday he was in news because the US called upon India to have India is having some human rights abuses. They called upon it, and then India replied back. So again, Antony Blinken came and covered it up.
Was there some formal meeting between the two countries?
Yes, a 2+2 meeting is going on. 2+2 of level meeting.
Arpit,
thank you, sir.
Tell me something about UP statistics. How much is the area? What is the male-female ratio? What is the literacy rate in Uttar Pradesh?
So UP is having an area of around 12 to 13 million hectares, and its literacy rate is around nearly 65%, 60 to 65%. I cannot recall correctly right now. And sir,
what is male-female ratio?
So the sex ratio stands at 9:10, approximately around 9:10.
देख लेना ऐसे. अच्छा, tell me about Roorkee. You have in IIT Roorkee there is some very special department which is started working on earthquake. Do you know that department?
Yes, sir. It's called Department of Earthquake Engineering.
Earthquake Engineering. Which year it was started?
So this I'm not aware of. But when I was there, it was there. The department was there.
No, now it is there. It is very old department. Which is, okay. How many zones we have in the earthquake zone in the country?
So there are 5 earthquake zones.
5 or 4?
So there are 5 earthquake zones. Basically, the earthquake zones start from 2, 3, 4 and 5.
That's
so
right.
In that way.
So that's why only 4.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because 1 is no more after Latur earthquake.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay, and Roorkee falls in which zone?
Roorkee falls in 5th zone, sir. It's one of the most fragile areas for earthquake.
You can check. It's not in 5.
Sir, 4. It's in
It
zone
is
4.
4.
It's in zone 4. It's in zone 4. Sorry.
And which year this Ganga Canal was, started?
So I'm not aware of it.
Because this is one of very important irrigation thing now.
Yes.
You know about the Ganga Basin? How many states and
Around 6
you might
states.
be knowing about Namami Gange program.
Yes, sir. 6 states.
No, 5 states. Ganga is flowing in 5 states.
Yes,
But
sir.
I'm talking about Ganga Basin. Ganga Basin in how many states?
So Ganga Basin spreads across Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Delhi, MP, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal.
पढ़ लेना इसे. It is in 11 states. 11 states comes in. How much population depend on Ganga?
So around 45 crore.
About 40%. You are right. So it's a big population.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's why we are having Ganga. Tell me that which are the stretches where water is too much polluted, and what is being done, you know, to combat that?
Sir, one of the areas is the Kanpur stretch.
Kanpur in UP.
One
yes.
of the areas is again the Allahabad area where it's very much polluted. Then again one of the areas is in Bihar. I cannot recall its name. It's I think Hajipur area. It is also severely polluted. And then in West Bengal area it's very polluted.
Kanpur, what is the main source of pollution?
So the leather industries which are present in Kanpur.
And what are the pollutants?
The pollutants can be a lot like various chemicals, various waste coming from there, and also the sewage, water sewage, the water which is used
Now
in leather
tell me
industries.
that Ganga is also having pollution from agricultural land. Is it true?
So the report published by NMCZ says this, that Ganga has been polluted by the agricultural runoffs, particularly the fertilizers from the Ganga Basin villages. So this is one of the reasons, sir.
Yes. So what we are doing now, Government of India, you know, announced a program.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what is that program? Honorable Prime Minister has just announced that we will do this thing, you know, to combat this agricultural pollution in Ganga.
No, sir, I'm not aware of it.
They
I'll
are
read
talking
more
about organic farming, you know, up to several kilometers.
Yes, sir.
They have given that up to this kilometer. So you can read that organic farming will be there so that there is no pollution in Ganga. Which state of the country is total organic, 100%?
Sir, Sikkim.
Sikkim.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Arpit, I was just going through a photograph that you had appended in your form.
Yes, sir.
You seem to be more happy with your old hairstyle. Is this hairstyle going to be permanent or going to be changed once you get into the service and you will revert back to the old hairstyle?
I don't know I've changed hairstyle or not. It's subconscious. I mean, it might be the work of a barber. So probably I did not have any role to play in it.
So you surrender to him.
Achha,
Most of the
Arpit,
times.
you follow cricket.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to be quizzed on IPL? Ongoing IPL?
Sir, a bit I'm following it. I'm not consistent.
Okay,
enough.
tell me. Yesterday, Shikhar Dhawan, how many runs, how many balls?
70 runs, 50 balls.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, I hope you are aware about the bodyline controversy.
Borderline.
Bodyline controversy.
So bodyline controversy, I cannot recall right now.
Long generations back in 50s, it was a controversy between Australia and England for a test cricket. The legend cricketer Bradman was a player in that. Ravichandran Ashwin, last test match, how many wickets he had taken?
So I think he did not take any wicket.
6 wickets, 2 in first, 4 in second. Anyway.
So, sir, in last test match you said. Sorry,
Yes.
I thought IPL you said. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
my apologies.
IPL.
Okay, the other hobby that you have followed is web series. You know, I often have a problem when youngsters go for passive hobbies, sitting in room, munching fast food and watching TV serials. Okay? I prefer youngsters going for outside activities. Something called constructive hobbies. Why it is that more and more youngsters are falling prey to inside within four walls hobbies?
Sir, it is because our environment is getting more focused on individual aspects of the society. And since social media is an addictive thing, if we see it from the perspective of science, it is an addictive thing because it releases hormones in our body which lead to its addiction in the long term. And sir, the outside environment is not that conducive because parents generally force their children to be inside in their homes.
Shall we say then that Arpit is also a victim of new environmental construct?
Sir, I'll say I'm not a victim of it because I occasionally watch web series because of my hobby.
Okay, I take your point. You are from Gorakhpur.
Yes, sir.
Gorakhnath temple is there.
Yes, sir.
With which sect it is associated?
So it's associated with the Gorakshpeet,
Huh?
the Gorakhnath sect.
No.
Nathpanthis basically. They are Nathpanthis.
Point second. Which festival is more associated with Gorakhnath temple?
Sir, it's the Khichdi Mela.
Excellent. Okay. Why it is that the BSP has declined in Uttar Pradesh? And secondly, whether this decline is perpetual or here to stay or ephemeral? That is temporary.
So I would say BSP has declined because they deviated from their path of social justice to capture power. And in some ways, their credentials as a party, which can be in providing social justice to the poorest or Dalit section of the society, have diluted. So I think this decline is going to be till the time they are not going to strengthen their cadres, because their cadre has fallen flat on their foots. So I think they need to have a reinvigorated approach towards pursuing social justice and trying to get Dalits and the other backward sections of the society into their fold.
Fair enough. What is your view on the politics of name change in Uttar Pradesh? Cities are being changed, everything is being changed, railway stations are being renamed. How do you see it?
So in my opinion, these name change are more of a perception management. But there needs to be some real work on ground also, so that the situation can be translated into a better way. And UP is a backward state, so I think only name change is not going to do much good to the society all in all.
Okay, IIT Roorkee was earlier known as University of Roorkee.
Yes, sir.
What are the plausible benefits that have accrued to Roorkee, brand IIT Roorkee vis-a-vis University of Roorkee? 1, 2, 3.
Sir, in my opinion, first is the funds. Second is the coming of better companies and better employment avenues for the students. And third is the IIT culture, which I feel is the best thing about any IIT, which differentiates.
Arpit, you have worked so far. You are a bright mechanical engineer. You have written civil service. You will get to the civil service. 10 years down the line, you will be lauded over by a boss who might have come from the lateral entry scheme. And from that point of view, do you support the lateral entry of civil servants, outside talents?
So I support lateral entry in a way because it brings fresh talent to the services. There are some of the things which we, being part of the services, don't learn, and they who are being part of private sector learn as a whole. So I think every experience should matter in the governance of our country, so that the administration can be made more efficient. So I would support it, but it should be fair enough process where everyone is given his or her the opportunity.
Very good, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Arpit.
Sure, sir.
How many districts in UP you have visited so far, apart from Gorakhpur?
So 4 or 5 districts.
4 or 5 only in that region.
Yes, sir.
Now, idea is this. Why I'm asking this. UP western part is more developed as compared to eastern part.
Yes, sir.
So there was demand that it should be divided into 2 smaller districts. So what are your opinion about it? Will it really work for good administration and development if it is divided into 2 smaller states?
So I think division of a state should be done purely on the basis of administrative and economical issues. When the division of UP was planned in 2010, I remember it was a political issue, and it was more of a political being a political favor to political parties. So, sir, when division is done, it should see the economic viability, the administrative efficiency, and the cost which is going to accrue to our exchequer, because UP is not a very rich state, sir. And in some way, Western UP is cross-subsidizing Eastern UP. So if people of Eastern UP demand that we should be given our due respect through the division of state, so somewhere I think there is a need to have economic viability also of Purvanchal area.
Be short. Very long answers are not appreciated. Anyway, you agree that Western UP is more developed as compared to Eastern UP? If
Sir,
yes, then on what basis you say like that?
So I would say it's more on the basis of infrastructure and on the basis of living standards and on the basis of industrial development.
Okay. What is COP26? COP26? Tell us something about it.
So it's the meeting of parties to UNFCCC.
It's a meeting. C stand for meeting.
It's a
COP.
conference of parties to UNFCCC. Who are signatories to UNFCCC? They meet and discuss about climate change affairs.
Where they met?
So last time they met at Glasgow.
Glasgow. So who was the president of that meeting?
So I think Britain was. Sir,
No, he was Indian-born British
Oh yes,
national.
Britain was chairing, and Indian-born. His name was Ajay Kumar.
Alok Sharma. Alok Sharma was there. Anyway, single-use plastic, in what way it is causing environmental problems in our country? Because without plastic, life is impossible. You can see everywhere, and you can make a list. This is the maximum plastic we are using in our life. But how this single-use plastic has become a real problem as far as environmental issues are concerned.
So the problem with single-use plastics are that they cannot be recycled, and once they are used, they persist in the environment. And since their degradation is not possible because they are degraded only very gradually through the UV rays, so they persist in the environment. They cause a lot of disasters. For example, some of the natural disasters, and then drain blockage, and then the disease spread due to mosquito breeding there. And there are lots of other issues.
But the major problem was, consumption of this along with garbage by the cattle. Have you heard about this?
Yes, sir.
A lot of plastic found inside the body, alimentary canal of cows and buffaloes.
Yes, sir. It was a major concern.
Okay, what do you mean by the carbon credits?
So a country who exceeds its target of carbon emissions, the reduction in carbon emissions, that country has some of the carbon left in its pocket, and they can trade it to some other country. But it's called carbon credit system.
So do you think that India can achieve really carbon zero status by 2070 as promised by the Prime Minister? Because 80% people, they live in villages, rural areas, and how much wood and cow dung they burn per day, you can just have some estimation of that. So consider that aspect.
So I would say India is currently an environmentally compliant system, but because we are not using even one units of earth, if we see it in Earth's perspective, and West is using nearly 1.5 to 2 times of the Earth's natural resources. So yes, India is an environmentally compliant country, and with the financial assistance and the technology from West, we can surely achieve the targets by
Carbon zero.
2070. Yes, sir.
So what would be the substitute for burning fuel wood and cow dung for cooking food, or burning heating water during winter, even for having heat shelter and all that? So have you seen the rural areas?
Yes, sir. I myself come
So
from
what would
rural
be the
areas.
substitute of that?
So there have been initiatives like cooked stove is being promoted by the central government, and Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana is also being promoted, which is providing free cylinders to the people who are registering there. So in this way, a gradual change will come.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Arpit. Just wait for a minute or so, we will call you back again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.